So, I haven't made a pencil project for quite some time. And as you know, I kind of like my pencils. I've done quite a few pencil projects, as you know, bowls and vases and pots and bits and pieces. I was looking at these pencils and I was thinking to myself, what can I make out of these pencils? What about a huge pencil? I'm kind of talking this big and maybe this long. I don't know if I've got enough pencils for that. Maybe I have. But I thought actually that would be kind of quite cool and definitely funky. Now I've got myself a lot of pots. I've got these ones. Got these off of eBay. And they do them on Amazon as well. I've got this one, which is a bit bigger than this one. So we could put all the pencils in this pot and maybe make a couple of these and then have it out here. But I'm thinking this is not thick enough. What about this one? This one's a bit bigger. Not as long, but that doesn't matter. But it's much thicker. And I'm thinking now this would be quite cool. Another one like that. Another one like this. So we kind of end up with a kind of a size of a pencil like this. But I don't even think that's big enough. We need to have a few more. So maybe we bring it. Maybe we kind of bring it out like this. Kind of really long. So we do need quite a lot of pencils for this project. But I do have a few. And a few more. And a few more. And some more. Got quite a lot of pencils, but I still don't think we've got enough. I'm going to have to hit eBay and clean out all the pencils. So I've no idea how this is going to turn out. So I'm just as intrigued as you are. Okay, so here we go. There's three made up now, 3 blanks. We've got to get these in the pressure pot and leave them overnight. We're probably going to need maybe another 3, possibly 4 to make up this large pencil. Right, now all we've got to do is wait. Okay, so we have got 3 blanks so far. What I'm going to do is I've just put the resin in between these two, and just to glue these up together, leave this overnight. We put another 2 in the pressure pot, but I've now run out of pencils again. So I think we're going to have probably another 2 on top of this 2. So I reckon that should just about be enough. Now, obviously I know this is out of shape, but what we're going to plan to do is put these blanks on the lathe. I think we'll do them at 3 at a time. So I'm going to leave this overnight, and then what we do is we get this up on the lathe and see if we can round it out. It's going to be a little bit smaller than that once we finish with it, because we need to try to make it all the same diameter all the way round. But it's looking pretty cool. So we've got now 3 set up here. I've just glued this one on top. I've just used some epoxy resin in there, and this one we've already got, which we've turned on the lathe. So I think that's going to be enough, because putting that on top of there, that's quite big and it's really heavy as well. So when you get that up there, that's going to be pretty tall. And then don't forget, we've got the piece of wood which we need to put on the top for the pencil, and then the actual crayon pencil as well. So I think that's going to be quite a good size pencil. So we'll just leave this to set up now. Once that's done, we'll put this on the lathe, make this round, get that attached to this section, and then we will start developing our pencil. So now we've got our 3 bits now. I think that's all we're really going to need, I think, to make this pencil. I mean, once we put the wooden bit on the top and then also the pencil bit, it's going to be pretty big as it is. I don't think we need any more blanks. I have got a spare one, but I think we can do something else with that later on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to glue this one up as well with resin, which is that one in there, and that will stick that to there. And then we will move on to the end of the pencil. But I think actually, looking at it now, I was going to leave it round, but you know what, I'm thinking that we don't, and I'm thinking that we make it a hexagon, which are like these. So this is like a hexagon shape. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? No, there. So I think we want to do that, I think, because I don't know, it just makes it look a little bit more kind of interesting, I think, rather than it just being round. This is nowhere near finished yet. Obviously we're going to we're going to cut the hexagon inside it once we get the top on it and figure out what we're going to do with the actual pencil lead. So there's a few things we need to do on this yet. Alright, we'll figure it out. Right, let's get this glued up. Okay, so I picked up this piece of apple, I think it's apple, for the end of the pencil. I reckon that should work. It's a little bit kind of like out of shape at the moment, but we only need, well, I don't know, I think we probably want about half of it at least. Maybe actually all of it we want, probably, because I'm just going to shape it down like the pencil goes. So let's get this on the lathe and shape this up. Okay, she's on there, fairly secure now. It's going to be a bit wobbly initially, but once we start getting this to round, it should be okay. So let's fire this baby up. So there's a little bit of an island growing on this one. Okay, so there's the bottom of the pencil, looking pretty cool. So I'm not going to, like shine this up or anything like that. I think it just kind of needs to be sort of fairly natural, really, looking like that. Obviously, this will glue up to that once I've glued this together to this, and then hopefully we'll have some kind of form of pencil. Then what we need to do is think about the kind of lead, because we want this to be a working pencil, so we've got to put some lead inside here, or crayon or something. It's got to go in here. I'm thinking a crayon, nice piece of crayon in the end there. That would look really cool, I reckon. So, and then once this is done and glued up, we need to cut this up into a hexagonal shape. This is gonna look so funky. So I took this round a friend of mine's to use his planer and thicknesser, because it was, well, I don't really have a planer in here. I've got a thicknesser, but it wouldn't have really worked for this project. And I made a couple of mistakes with trying to make this hexagon. Bit of a pain because I've now had to make this a bit of a smaller pencil. Although it's still a large pencil, but smaller than I originally kind of planned. So it's looking pretty cool. I could do this again, but I don't really want to go and get a load more pencils and do this whole thing again. But I wanted to make the hexagon pencil because I think it just gives it a little bit more kind of character, really. And I know it's not a large pencil, but it kind of is. And I'm hoping that that's big enough. Right, now what we've got to do is put the end on this pencil. Now obviously originally we cut this out to make for the top, but now that's obviously a lot bigger than we need it to be. So I'm going to put this back on the lathe somehow. We probably could just put a tenon on it and, you know, just shape it up a little bit smaller, just to sort of be a bit more in proportion for this piece. And then hopefully we can get this pencil finished. Looks like some kind of rocket. Just getting closer. So what we've got now, we've got this, the top of the pencil. So what we need to do is glue this on the top here. Now what you'll notice as well is obviously you've got the hexagon shape here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to knock off these edges, just because this blends into a circle. So the hexagon pencil, it just sort of blends around. When you look at it, it blends round into a circle there. So this is what we've got so far. I'm going to glue this up, leave this overnight. And then we'll come back to that in the morning. But this is looking funky. Look at this. I'm going to use a bit of Gorilla Glue for this bad boy, because gorillas are tough. Now, yes, I should have some gloves on for this, but it's only a little finger, and I will wipe my finger afterwards. Okay, I've got this pencil up in the lathe, and that will leave that overnight to set. I actually think that this size, actually, now looking at it, is probably a better size for this pencil. I mean, you know, it's still a large pencil. I mean, come on. I mean, that is, that's a small pencil, a normal size pencil. This is the big one. So, I mean, before when we had it, it was a lot chunkier. Yeah, I know, but this is going to be much easier to use, guys. So there we go, that kind of looks a little bit more like the end of the pencil now. So it comes from the hexagon shape into a circle. Happy days! I bought quite a few of these, and these will be just nice. So we just need to pick a colour, and then what we need to do is melt this down. Now I've just knocked up a couple of contraptions to try and melt these down with, because I need to sort of like have something that's going to fit inside the hole. So I'm using this little pen blank mould. I think if we sort of put the crayon in there possibly and melt it maybe in the microwave, probably going to need 2 of them I expect, then that should, well, we can probably just chop it up and put it in there, then hopefully that will make our little blank, but that's obviously too small for what we need. And I've also got this other syringe. I'm just knocking up stuff basically. I don't know, there probably is a better way of doing this, but that's probably the right hole I think we need for it, and that should just slot straight in. So again, we can put the crayon inside and then stick it in the microwave, and hopefully it will just melt into the shape that we want it to. So what colour are we going to go with? I don't know. Blue looks kind of nice. I mean, there's so many colours we can obviously choose from. I'm thinking this blue, dark blue. That's going to write really well as well, and that's going to be pretty cool. Let's go with that and see how that goes. I reckon that could look quite funky. Back into the colder mug, because that is going to burn me. So we've now got to wait for this to cure. Still solidified in there, but once that dries, hopefully we can just open this up and that will slot quite nicely in the end of our pencil. It took about 10 to 12 minutes in there to do that. It took ages. So that's pretty cool though. Right, let's leave that for a little bit and we'll come back to that in a minute. Just be careful when you're rubbing down so close to sandpaper. You might end up with no nail, like mine. That's going to be sore. Yep. I actually quite enjoyed doing that, although there were a few moments and I thought to myself, why did I start this project? But as it went on, I kind of thought, you know what, this is going to look really funky.
Derek.
I love it! Got the end in there so it looks like the crayon goes all the way through, but it obviously doesn't. I thought this would work quite well with my new emblem got from Hanke, and this is 03. Then we got the crayon obviously in the end there, the blue one. Now we could have gone for many colours, but I think blue worked pretty well. Good thing about this thing is, it actually works. No, I actually really like that. I'll try and bring this along with me to Makers Central, so you can maybe have a look. You could do some drawing with it. I'm unsure if it's the biggest pencil in the world, but it can't be far off. Little pencil, big pencil.
Cardboard box.
I tried to put a coat of resin on for a finish, and that didn't really work out for some reason. It just, because I let it on the lathe there and left it overnight, it was ending up with like drip marks in it. I sanded it back a few times and it didn't shine up as well as I wanted it to, and I think I actually prefer it better like this actually anyway, so I'm glad that didn't work out. I'm pretty happy with this one. Also, this was going to be a bigger pencil than this. Again, I did make a bit of a mistake making the hexagon. It's not so bad now. Which then meant we had to make the pencil a bit smaller, but actually pretty heavy as it is.
There's that word again, heavy. Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
And actually fairly usable. I think if it was any bigger, I think it would be quite awkward to use anyway. So I think it turned out quite well. I think it was a fairly good size in the end. But I think after all the kerfuffle, turned out okay. I do hope you like this one. It was a little experiment. I've been meaning to make a large pencil for a long time. Probably over a year now, never really got around to doing it. And then I just thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna do this. This wood is a bit of apple that I put in the end there, so that works really well, I think. I think it sort of complements the piece quite well. Well, there we go, folks. Happy days.
Hey.
Well, I hope you like this one, and please, if you can, share the video. That would be a massive help to me, and hopefully encourage a few more people to come over and join the channel. Please smash the like button and leave me a comment below. I just want to say a massive welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you like the project. I am going to be doing a couple more pencil projects soon as well, but not just yet, because at the moment I've run out of pencils. But I have a few other pencil projects in the pipeline, along with some other bits and pieces that I'm going to be doing on the lathe. All that leaves me to say is a massive thank you so much for all your support. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. If you don't know, I've got a Patreon account. Please head on over to the Patreon and help support me and my channel. That would be extremely appreciated. Check out all the links below. There's tons of links there for you guys to check out, which hopefully will be a help to some of you. I'll leave stills up at the end, guys. Take care and have a fantastic weekend. See you soon.